Jack, what are some of the things that you think would help our world find more peace?
I think the biggest thing we can do is to become self-sufficient and show others and help others to become self-sufficient. That in order to facilitate that, I have to go back a little bit in biography. My own biography is that I retired from my company at the age of 70. And it was with the express purpose of teaching, of traveling, of learning, and of writing. And in my efforts, I tried to show by example, not by any theory, but every story I write about has happened to me. Mm-hmm. So it carries that much more weight. I know what's happened to me since then. I know how much good I've derived for that. And I found something very interesting. I said something at that time, that there's no such thing as a good deed that is ignored. Because even after I've done something that I know is going to be beneficial, I have a good feeling inside of me. So I've already benefited myself. I got rid of that ulcer I had 50 years ago.
And how do you think that we can use that to find greater peace in the world?
Well, in my mind's eye, and this is strictly theory, the world is a concept. The way we find bigger peace or understanding or enjoy a better life or have a more fulfilling life is by dealing in your local area. Because there, I look for self-satisfaction. I'm selfish that way. So when I see something that I've done and it's resulted in some good things for the community and for me, I'm very, very happy about that. Now, as these deeds spread, an idea, a saying, a way of life, a handling of people, then they deserve to start traveling. Think local and go global.
But it sounds like it all goes back to Bella and being a good neighbor, that you start with the people that are closest to you and then move out from there, right?
On that logic, it all goes back to Bella. That's where I came from.
It all goes back to our moms. Okay, we'll remember that it all goes back to our moms. A little shout out for moms. Yeah. I feel like that sense of community is so important, and the idea that it could bring about greater peace in the world by just taking care of your community closest to you. But then there's always, that one neighbor on the block who, does his own thing and maybe is in people's faces. How do you, connect or at least find common ground with somebody who thinks completely differently than you do?
I find that all of this has taken place in the period of time that I've known you and seen some differences in your way of thinking.
Yeah.
Which I think has accrued to your benefit. We have a lot of things in common because we have artistic sensitivities and so on. But I found that I was able to write and able to express myself, and I'm able to save a lot of people some steps. But more than that people don't take into account It's the morale. It's the incentive. It's the why should I do better? See, that's why I think it's lacking in certain governments, but in our government, I couldn't wait to get out in the field. And although my education leaves some blanks in it, there certainly was enough of it to relate to people and to do the things that I wanted to do, to write 7 books on business, and then getting into a discussion. I found that the book was the backbone for what I was trying to teach, because everything there was now illustrated, and people really love stories and understand stories. And I have some stories that I think I could peddle to Spielberg today, because they're so full of adventure and non-predictability.
And how do you think that people can improve how they relate to each other? What's the first thing that you would think of when you think about relating to your fellow man, fellow human?
I've been in hundreds, maybe thousands of negotiations. And my goal during those negotiations is to come up with a deal that's going to be good for everybody involved. So if I'm only thinking what's going to help Jack Nadell, I don't think it's going to work. But if I'm thinking something as it plays itself out makes it better for everybody, then I've got a good thing. So in answer to your question, I have to think more as not only how does it affect me, but how does it affect you and other people who are going to be touched by this deal.
So you really have to understand who you're dealing with on the other side of either a business deal or your neighborhood or diplomacy, what have you. It's important to know who's on the other side of the table. Understanding them.
Absolutely. There have been times, and it seemed like I was pig-headed, but I wanted to get out of a deal. I wanted to get out of a deal because I didn't like the setup. Think of one case, I was trying to buy a building, and the guy, unbeknownst to me, we made the deal, but unbeknownst to me, he invited his attorney. Attorney came late. Okay. But then I found that the attorney was negotiating with me parts of the deal. So I turned to the guy I dealt with. I said, is there a change taking place here? Is it yours decision or his decision? He says, well, he's my attorney. And I said, okay, deal's over.